I don't think I can remember a time I was this excited to make a video. What's up, guys? My name is Trevor, or T Martin, and I have played 2 hours of Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, I'm still cheesing about it. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. Spoiler free, of course, and let me just say, it's very good. Before we hop into this video, I just want to let you know that I am giving away a PS5 and a copy of Hogwarts Legacy. Be sure to stick around till the end to learn how to enter. So yeah, a few days ago, Warner Bros and Avalanche invited me out to WB Studios in Los Angeles for a little hands-on time with the game. In total, I had about 2 hours of gameplay across various segments. So it started off right at the very beginning where I was able to hop into Character Creator and make my own character. Then they jumped me ahead to where I was able to kind of explore the grounds of the castle and inside the castle a little bit. And then they jumped me ahead again to later on in the game. I'm not sure where, but I was able to play an actual mission. You guys are going to see a lot of gameplay in this video. I'm also going to be uploading some of the gameplay separate in other videos, so make sure you guys check the channel. All in all, just an amazing experience, truly a dream come true. I was able to meet some of the devs, shake some hands. Everyone was so nice, so passionate, so excited. Like, you could feel the energy in the room, and it was just like, I'm so thankful for the experience. So thank you to Warner Bros. Thank you to Avalanche for having me. That being said, I was not paid. I was not influenced in any way. Like, if the game wasn't good, I wouldn't hesitate to tell you guys. It was amazing. I had a lot of fun. I am a big Harry Potter fan, so take that as you will. But I'm very excited to share what I found and you know, kind of what I experienced. So first up, we've got our character creator, and we're not going to spend too much time on this segment because, after all, it is just a character creator. But I got to be honest, I was impressed. This was well fleshed out. There were tons of options, tons of customization. You had a lot of control. I'm convinced that no matter what you're trying to make, if you're trying to make yourself, if you're trying to make somebody from the movies, if you're trying to make a random character you have made up in your head, you're probably going to be able to get pretty close. There were a lot of options here, and I feel like for most games, character creators are cool, but not really all that impressive or important. But this is Harry Potter after all. We've all been dreaming of this game for so long. We all want to put ourselves in that universe, and I think this creator is going to get us there. Slight sidetrack here, but talking about putting your character in the game, the cutscenes were unbelievable. I was not ready for how good the cutscenes are. I enjoyed them so much. It felt like I was watching the film. To have a character that kind of looked like me walking around Hogwarts and things in these cutscenes, it was super sick. And the game as a whole was really beautiful. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the most beautiful game I've ever played, but it was very beautiful, from the characters to the clothes to the environment and the scenery and things like that. And honestly, speaking of environment, that's going to be our second main point here. This was my favorite part of the game. Just the scale of everything. The fact that you can go anywhere you want at any time that you want. You can walk there. You can run there. You can hop on your broom and fly there. You see that door over there? You want to go check it out? Go for it. That's not a fake door. You can walk through it. There's something really cool on the other side of that door. And there's not a loading screen that holds you back in between it. Like, it just, everything was so large. It was on such a grand scale. And it was all so interconnected. I think that's one of the biggest compliments I can give, is just how well everything was meshed together and connected. Because when you think about it, like, we know the major points of interest and locations based off the movies and the books and things like that. And obviously the books have a little bit more detail than the movies did, but like, we don't know what every hallway looked like. We don't know what every corridor, every little nook and cranny of this castle looked like. That's what Avalanche had to put together. They had to take the Great Hall and the courtyard and the common rooms and the library and the classrooms and the dungeons and everything else, and like, make it all fit together so you can actually walk to those places. And every corner, every nook and cranny had to be kind of created on their end and all fit and flow together. And they did that absolutely masterfully. Like, I felt like it was so big and so grand that it was easy to get lost. But at the same time, I kind of always felt like I knew-ish where I was going, even though it was my first time ever playing it, just because I'm like, oh, I kind of recognize this from the movies, or, oh, you know, there's that painting or whatever. Like, it, honestly, it was a weird feeling, but it was very cool. And like I said, they nailed it. So yeah, the environment was massive. It was gorgeous. It was all interconnected very nicely. And it also felt alive. And I've got to be honest, this was one of my biggest concerns for this game, both because of just the scale of everything, as well as because of the grandioseness of the idea of a wizarding school. Like, how do you live up to the hype there? How do you keep that alive so that it feels real? And, you know, when you're just walking around, not even doing anything, it actually feels like you're there. at least from what I saw, they did a really good job. Like, I felt like around every corner was a character to talk to where the dialogue actually felt like it mattered. And, you have the branching choices where you can decide to either be nice or be mean or aloof or whatever. And I felt like whatever you chose actually had repercussions. There were mini games, side missions, chests and loot to find, even random things like these globes in the library that you could interact with and make spin, or this water fountain, or like, floating flower pots, or Peeves messing with somebody in the hallway. Like there was always something going on. There was always something new and exciting to look forward to. I was constantly using Revelio. It was on the D-pad, and it kind of like highlights some interesting things around you. And it's like every time I used that spell, there was something that I could do. I was just really impressed. Now, I will say I only saw a small subset of the map right outside of the castle, a few quarters within the castle, and then on our main mission. So, like, is the entire map going to be that jam-packed with stuff? Probably not. I'm sure out in the swamps and the forest and stuff, it's going to be a little bit more barren, but still, I was impressed. Let's switch gears and talk about combat, and pardon my French here, but it was amazing. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. There's a skill ceiling here. It's not easy. I died in the very first training mission. I'm ashamed. Now, this was actually a concern I had before playing the game myself. I was worried it was going to be a little bit basic, just because when you think about wizard battle, it's all range. Whereas typically in video games, we have ranged attacks, we have mid-range, we have close range, we have hand-to-hand combat, we have, all these things happening. So, like, I wondered if it was going to feel a little basic when you're just standing at range throwing spells at people and like, hey, this spell counters this spell, but like, how interesting could it get? I was totally wrong. It was really, really good. And we're going to run through it a little bit here. We're going to get a little bit nerdy, all right? So you've got your like basic cast, your basic attack. You hit R2 and it flings this kind of like pokey attack that doesn't do anything special, doesn't do a lot of damage, but that's just how you keep poking people. After that, you've got your other spells, which are the diamond down in the corner. You've got the 4 spells there. So to be able to cast those, you hold R2 and then you press the corresponding face button. And the thing is you've got 4 available there, but you've got 4 pages of 4. So you have up to 16 spells available to you at any point in time. You can keep swapping through all these spells, and these have different reasons for using them. Kind of your main focus at the start of a battle is to cancel out somebody's shield. The enemies are going to be casting Protego. They've got these bubble shields around them, and the color of the shield corresponds to a color on your spell list wheel D-pad thing. So you use the spell of the same color to be able to break their shield, and that opens them up to taking damage. You can also do combos. You can break somebody's shield, cast Levioso to get them up in the air, and when they're up in the air, they're kind of flailing. They can't, regain composure. They can't re-shield themselves or anything. And then you can start doing combos on them to keep juggling them in the air. And then, of course, a lot of your spells have special abilities and effects to them. So, like, if you hit somebody with Crucio, the Cruciatus Curse, the Torture Curse, it's not going to do as much damage up front, but it's slowly going to drain their damage over time because you're torturing them. Or if you hit somebody with Expelliarmus, it's going to disarm them, and now all of a sudden they're temporarily out of the battle while they recover and get their wand and things. So, like, you could hit somebody with Expelliarmus and then focus on the main task at hand while they're over there scrambling, trying to get ready, and then turn to them when you're ready. And it's just like, there are so many combos and things that start happening. It truly gets very, very, very deep. Now, there's also finishing moves, which they're insane. You've got the environment that you can use to your advantage. You see a barrel over in the corner with R1 hovering above it. You can bring that into the battle, break it over somebody's head. Like, there are so many options available to you. And that's just on the offensive side of things. Now, on the defensive side of things, it seems a little bit more simple. It's kind of the typical either block, dodge, or parry. But it's also honestly the most important. Like, I was so enamored with throwing spells at people, I wasn't defending well enough. That's why I ended up dying. So if I could give you guys a pro tip, focus on defense, focus on perfecting your defense. But basically, when there's a spell incoming at you, you have this highlight that goes around your head to kind of let you know, like a sixth sense, kind of like the Spider-Man games, the Spidey sense that pops up. So in that point, you can either cast your Protego to be able to block it, you can hold your block button to be able to parry it if you have good timing, or you can dodge it. Some spells will highlight in red. That means it's unblockable, so you have to dodge in that case. And then all the special spells also affect you too. So like if somebody hits you with Levioso, you float up in the air and then you have like a button prompt you have to hit. If you get it right, you can drop back down quicker and get back into the battle. If you miss it, it's a little bit more of a cooldown for you and you're stuck up floating in the air taking damage. It's just like it gets very intense very quickly. And I was on the second level of the battle arena. So I'm excited to go back and keep practicing. Stealth. I absolutely had to highlight this as somebody who loves Assassin's Creed and Hitman games and things like that. Like, I was so stoked when I played this mission, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be very, very excited too. So you do have a choice in how you approach certain things. You can run in wands blazing if you want, or in this mission where I'm approaching a poacher camp, I chose to throw on my disillusionment charm and go in and take them down one by one. Now, you're not fully invisible. You still have to watch out for, you know, enemy pathways and lines of sight and cones of vision and not making too much noise and things like that. But here I am sneaking around this camp doing a little Petrificus Totalis on people to be able to take them down one by one. It was very, very cool, and I can't wait to see moments of like sneaking around the castle and stuff. It's going to be amazing. Now, another segment later on in this mission, it's not just stealth aggro where you take people out one by one. There was a segment where there were two goblins talking to each other, and I just snuck by them entirely. I didn't engage them at all, and I was able to just keep on going, you know, Captain Price style. Very, very cool. Stealth is absolutely a viable option, as is just going in and Avada Kedavraing everyone. A lot of great things we've talked about so far, but we've got to move on to the negatives. All right, no game is perfect. We don't expect this game to be perfect, especially before release. And to be honest, if I was watching a first impressions video and the person only had good things and praise to give, I straight up wouldn't believe it. So let's talk about the negatives. It boils down to a couple of points for me. Number one is I did run into a couple of little bugs and glitches. Like, there was a time where I was trying to walk through a door and I just ran face first into the door. It didn't budge, so I had to turn around, back up a few steps, and then walk at it again, and then it opened up. There were also other times where like I would walk through a doorway into a new room and just the lighting would get a little bit wonky. You know, there'd be a couple of frames of flashes while it was trying to figure itself out, and then it would settle down and look good. And to be honest, I'm not even going to show you guys the gameplay of these. I don't think it's fair to the devs to highlight that, because this happens with literally every game going through development. Those are some of the final things that are ironed out and polished right at the very end. I have no idea what build of the game we were on. I'm assuming it's not the most recent build. It's definitely not going to be the build that we're playing at release after the day one patch. So I would expect most of this to be fixed by the time the game comes out. We can talk about it then if it's not, but I've literally seen this in every game I've ever played early. It's just a part of development. Last but not least, my final concern, if you could even call it a concern, isn't about what we saw, but it's about what we didn't see. So like I said, this recording session was three main segments. It was the character creation, the exploration of the castle where you could see the grounds, as well as specific corridors and rooms inside the castle, mainly the library as well as the greenhouse. And then we had the mission that you guys saw on the channel yesterday. And it was all great. It was fantastic. But a lot of that we've already seen via trailers and showcases. Now, the Fire and Vice mission was totally new, so that was really exciting. But the character creation screen, we've already seen. And the parts of the castle that we were exploring, we've pretty much already seen. I mean, I was able to fly over to the Quidditch pitch and things like that, but like a lot of it we had already seen. This wasn't new. We weren't, you know, going through the forest. We weren't checking out the swamps. We didn't get to see Hogsmeade. We didn't get to see like new parts of the castle. And that brings up the question, like, why was that done? Why was it so strict? Why are they hanging the curtain there? You know, some developers might do that because they're showing you the complete side of the game that's in good shape, and the rest of the game probably isn't in as good of shape. I don't think that's the case here, though. I think this just boils down to them wanting to keep some secrets. Instead of seeing everything on social media beforehand, I think they want us to walk through that castle and have jaw-dropping moments. I think they want to keep things under wraps. I think they want there to be surprises and excitement, and they want to keep the magic and the mystery alive. If they just let us run free and go through the entire castle, I guarantee you so many things would have been spoiled. There would have been so many clips all over the place. Like, I think they want to keep some excitement contained for the actual release. And honestly, I respect that. Like, I can't wait to play. All in all, I just want to say, I mean, I was impressed. I really, really enjoyed the game. They had to wrestle the controller out of my hands at the end of the 2-hour session because I wasn't ready to give it up. I cannot wait. I am fiending to play this game again. I do want to preface that by saying that, like, you know, listen, I did only play for 2 hours. It's a massive game. I played a very tiny pinprick of what's available to us here, so I don't want to make any statements that I can't retract later. But I'm impressed. I have very, very high expectations for this game, and I think they're absolutely going to nail it. I think if you're a Harry Potter fan, it's a no-brainer. This is the game. This is the one. This is the one we've been waiting for pretty much our entire lives. Like, this is one of the biggest games that's ever released for me personally. Like, I can't wait. If you're not a Harry Potter fan, and it's kind of hard for me to take the Harry Potter out of me just because I love it. I love the books. I love the movies. I grew up reading the books. I still think it'd be a really good game. Even if you weren't familiar with the universe, even if you didn't really care about the universe, I think it would be a good RPG filled with magic and mystery and exploration and great characters and storylines and things. Like, I think they have an absolute winner here, and I can't wait to check out more. I can't wait to get it in my own hands for you guys to have it, and I can't wait to explore this world. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will definitely be making more videos on the subject, show you guys more gameplay, talk about stuff, break stuff down. So if you guys want to see that, be sure to subscribe. Thank you to Warner Bros and to Avalanche. Thank you to everyone I met, Alan and Boston and Ellen and Steven and everyone else on the team that I was able to meet. Like, you guys are doing a fantastic job. You can really see just how much passion is in this project. And from myself, and I think I could speak for a lot of the community, thank you guys for all the hard work that went into this. We can't wait to see what's in store for us on February 10th or February 7th if you get the deluxe edition. As for the PS5 and game giveaway, check the description. I've got a tweet over on Twitter. All you have to do is retweet and follow. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Mischief managed.